What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blake's Take. And this weekend, week 1 of the NFL preseason was underway, bringing out one of the most talented quarterback classes in recent history. 5 big-name quarterbacks were selected in the first round this year. Talent-wise, they're all very close to one another, which made these debuts highly anticipated to see how they would really separate themselves from one another. Let's start with the quarterback who is believed to be the best of them all in number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. Surprisingly, it was the exact opposite. Lawrence performed the worst out of all the rookie QBs, going for 6 of 9 for just 71 yards. It was good to see Lawrence showing the ability to stay in the pocket and strike down the field, but he also waited way too long to throw the ball and taking 2 ugly sacks and coughing up a fumble in the process on one of them. That was a bad debut for Lawrence, but it really comes down to week 1 is when the fans are really expecting to see him show out. Next up, we had Zach Wilson, the number 2 pick in this year's draft, who wasn't overwhelmingly great, but also wasn't overwhelmingly bad either. He threw for an efficient 63 yards on 6 of 9 completions. The Jets, after all, emphasized their ground game over their new face of the franchise against the Giants. But Wilson made a pretty much every play he was asked to do, especially on third down, converting on several, showing promise as far as execution goes. From New York, we head to the Bay Area, where we had Trey Lance was looking to prove that he can hold things down as QB1 for the Niners. He did just that, throwing an 80-yard touchdown dart across the field on his first career completion, bringing all eyes on him with a highlight debut, which is in total resulted in 5 completions on 14 attempts for 128 yards. Similar to Lance, Justin Fields has been shelved by his team as the consensual backup to Andy Dalton, and the overlooked player of the draft, falling to the Bears at number 11 after leading Ohio State to a national championship appearance. Field was proven all the doubters wrong in his debut. 14 of 20 for 142 yards and a touchdown through the air, while adding 5 carries for 33 yards and another score on the ground. Showcasing his dual threat talent by extending plays, avoiding big hits, and firing strong passes, all added to his case for being overlooked at 11, as well as being the shot at the Bears' starting job come week 1. But we still can't forget that about the one most intriguing and exciting picks in this draft, a national championship winning quarterback, Mac Jones, falling into the perfect setting at number 15 to the New England Patriots. He was handpicked to give the New England a real successor to Tom Brady with a similar play style that fits perfectly into Josh McDaniels' offense. As Jones stepped onto the field, he received a standing ovation from the fans in Foxborough, who are very optimistic that Jones can help replicate at least a quarter of the success Tom Brady had there. He was highly efficient, going 13 of 19 for 87 yards, with many of his best downfield throws being dropped in the hands of receivers. He has a high football IQ, is well prepared, and throws the ball confidently and accurately. New England is fully embracing the young Mac. I believe he will continue to improve and live up to much of the expectations the fans have for him. We'll see how things shake up in week 2 of the preseason, but week 1 overall was pretty good for quarterbacks besides the number 1 overall pick. But we'll see how he can bounce it back in week 2 if they'll ask Zach Wilson to do more, see if Trey Lance can continue to make amazing highlight reel plays, and how Justin Fields can continue to be the dominant quarterback and maybe the first elite quarterback the Bears have ever had in their history. And they could be the wild card to make the Super Bowl and win it all with their defense that they have. And so now that these quarterbacks got the debut pressure off their back, they should have better comfort going into the week 2 and getting into the feel of things after they got that NFL start off their back. But in reality, their real debut and start doesn't come until the first regular season start, whether that be week 1 or week 17. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you all for tuning in. You can catch all this and more on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or YouTube. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.